If you're trying to get funded with prop firms, be it futures or CFDs, this video is for you. I struggled for over 3 years trying to become a consistently profitable trader. Now I'm 6 years in, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from the market, and in this video I want to talk about the lessons I learned from getting maximum allocated with FTMO. But let's be honest, anyone can gamble their way through being maximum allocated with FTMO. But I actually reached my scale up with FTMO, which requires 4 months of consistent profitability, it requires 2 payouts, and it requires at least a 10% gain. And I was able to actually scale up one of my accounts, and all of my other accounts are going towards that scale up. I haven't failed an FTMO account in a good amount of time, and in this video I want to talk about everything I've learned and I've implemented that allowed me to actually have the consistent profitability with prop firms that allows me to withdraw tens of thousands every single month consistently. So I'm going to give you the 5 biggest lessons, so let's just hop right in. So the first thing that I would say is that you don't have to risk a lot to actually reach this sort of scale up. You just have to consistently take profits from the markets. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people, once they get funded, their number one goal is to get into their leaderboard, or is to get a big payout, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 worth of payouts. And it's like, let's say you have a 100k account or a 50k account, whatever it is, right? On futures or CFDs. If you can't take a payout and the payout is 1%, let's say it's $500, $1,000, it doesn't matter. Just take the payout. You don't need to risk a lot in order to be able to make a consistent income from trading. Quite the opposite. If you want to make a consistent income from trading, your number one goal should actually be to risk less on more capital. Why? Because especially with prop firms, let's say that I'm risking 1% on my funded account. I'm technically risking 10% because the drawdown that I have available is 10%. And so keeping that in mind, if you're risking 0.5%, on a funded account, by the way, you're actually risking 5%. And I would say that that's much more fine. Why? Because it gives you a good risk reward once you are trying to get consistent payouts, right? I don't do this as much anymore of risking 0.5, but I started off at risking 0.5. Listen, a scale up, it takes 4 months, right? I was trading this account for 4 months. I made more than 10%, but again, that's 2.5% consistently every single month. Imagine you don't need to risk high percentages to get 2.5% per month. And that's what I did. I started off slow by risking 0.5, getting a $500,000 payout, whatever it is. And then once I have my money back from the refund, once I have my money back and more on top with the payouts, then I actually start to risking a little bit more. And that is exactly what I did. So instead of trying to go for the leaderboard or trying to get a big payout, start small. Listen, I've said this so many times. A $50 payout is everything you need in order to know that your life can change through trading, right? $50 that you can get on a payout, it's literally $50, $50 that you have taken out of the market and put into your pocket. These $50 maybe pay for a restaurant bill, for a grocery bill, for an electricity bill, a utility bill, whatever it is, right? $50, $100, $200, it starts to compound. Right? Your goal is to take money out of the market into your pocket. And the reason I have this as number one is I really do believe that this is the most important one, right? So don't risk high percentages and take it slow. Now, point number 2 is when you get a payout, focus on high probability trades. Because let me tell you a little secret about prop firms, something that is very dark about prop firms, which is the reason why sometimes you have a high payout frequency is not because they want to give you as many payouts as possible. It's because they know that once you get the payout, your next trade, if it's a loss, it's going to start to put you in this mindset of, oh, right now I'm in drawdown, I need to get it back. And then you take another loss and it's like, oh my God, now I've lost this account. Let me take another trade, and it's a loss and it's a loss. And then this whole cycle, because you are in drawdown, starts. But this drawdown was created out of an artificial payout, so to say, because you've gotten the payout, you don't see it in your account anymore. Now you only see that you are, let's say you get a $5,000 payout, or let's even say a $1,000 payout. And now you took a $300 loss. You see your account in $300 worth of drawdown. You don't see the fact that you've just made good profit, right? And so this starts playing tricks on your mind. And that's why I say that when you get a payout, focus on the high probability trades, Why? Because like that, you can reduce the amount of drawdown you have on every single account. And that is something that I've actually done. There are a few times when I get the payout and I go into drawdown. That's fine, like 1, 2, 3% if needed. That's fine for me, because then I always focus on high probability trades. I've done a couple of trade recaps where I then show my FTMO dashboard. And what you can see is that I start an account and most of the time I instantly go into profit. Start an account, instantly go into profit. And the reason why is because I focus on high probability trades. I know the game prop firms are trying to play and I just play a fair game against them. Right? So I do recommend you doing that. Once you get a payout, once your account is back at zero, right? It sounds like zero, but you've gotten a payout. Remember, focus on a high probability trade, so you start on a good trade. You start in profit, because like that you can take 1, 2 more and then you lock in the payout. But if you go into drawdown, you're not gonna have this negative cycle of, oh my god, I'm doing something wrong, this account is gone, which is what a lot of prop firms want you to do. They want you to go into a little bit of drawdown and it's like, oh, I've lost this account, so let me gamble it. Right? That's exactly what they want you to do. So when you get a payout, focus on high probability trades. Now, this is going to seem a little bit counterintuitive, but let me tell you, this is my 100,000% my recommendation. If you have a 1 to 2% payout, lock it in. Right? Yes, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to have a $30,000 payout. I've had one of like a very large payout. All the other ones were like 15,000, 10,000. Those were with higher risk. But now I don't really go over $7,000 worth of payout. And that's if I profit in one trade that good amount, right? Usually I take one trade. If it's profitable, I move on. I've made multiple videos on risk management and I teach my PAYOUTS system that I also teach inside of Funded Trading Blueprint. And it's simply the fact that, hey, I lock this account, I go to the other one, lock this account, go to the other one, use trade blocker, and don't let myself overtrade. That's the way I think. It's okay, 1 to 2%, lock it in, use trade blocker, remove it from my MetaTrader, and then just wait for the payout. Yes, sometimes I have to wait 10 days. Right now, I am 10 days away of getting over $10,000 worth of payouts. I'm not touching those accounts anymore. I'm going to go on others that I have. Right? So this is my PAYOUTS system. I teach it inside of Funded Trading Blueprint. I've taught it here on a risk management video. If you want to check that out, those are always very, very good. So just understand that when you lock in a payout, it's literally money that you can get out of the market into your bank account, out of the market, and now you can use this for things that you do on your day-to-day life. You can use this to pay your car. You can use this, like, it was funny because I bought a car for a family member recently, and like it wasn't a super expensive car, but in one payout it was paid, right? Like that is the beauty. Like I literally bought a car with a payout. So I bought a car trading NQ. Technically, those are the things that sometimes we don't process, because the reality is, like, if I tell you right now that you can get all of these 20-pound bills, right? This $20 bill, right? I also have dollars right here. If you want euros, you would probably want to lock this in, right? If you know that if you're running $2,000, let's say you're running 2% on a 100K account, like this is what $2,000 is, right? And when it's on MetaTrader, it feels fake because it technically is fake, right? But if you just wait a little bit and you lock in the payout, you can actually put this money in your bank account. You can take this money out of the market and put in your bank account. Let me ask you, what could you do right now with $2,000? Would you pay off some debts? Would you pay for your electricity bill? Would it pay for your whole expenses in a full month? Like, you would do a lot, right? But we forget that sometimes when we are running 2-3%, that is real money that we can use in the markets. And so very, very rarely do you see me going into great profits and then giving it back. I'm also in great profits and then I lock it in. Even if it's $1,000, listen, let me tell you a little secret. You have to promise not to tell anyone, okay? There have been times where I've received a $200 payout. Why? Well, so this is 200 euros or $200. Right? Then, on top, I receive 500 for my refund. So all of a sudden, a $200 payout turns into a $700 payout because I'm also getting a refund. So can you understand how you have to learn to play this game? You have to learn to play this game of prop firms, right? And understand the money you are making from prop firms is not real until it is in your account. So if you make $2,000 and $2,000 means something for you, then take it out. Prove to yourself, I can make money from trading. And keep in mind, a $20 payout can absolutely change your life. A $20 payout can be the difference between you believing that you can do it with trading or not, right? Let's actually have it with the dollar. A $20 payout is everything you need to believe that you can make it in trading, because this, you know, is just the start. Now, the next thing I would say is that it's crucial for you to ask the right questions. What I mean with asking the right questions, and I've said this a couple of times here on the channel, which is if you want to become a consistently profitable trader, you need to ask yourself the right questions. If you want to make money in the markets, you need to ask the market the right questions, or yourself about the market the right question. And the funniest example that I could come up with is, hey, if you are trying to become a consistently profitable trader, but if you ask me, how do I grow tomatoes? I can tell you exactly how to grow tomatoes, but that's not going to help you, right? So that's the power of asking the right questions. The same thing is with the market. You can ask, where's going to be the high? What is the low of the market? Are we going to crash? Are we going to move up? Are we going to go to all-time highs? Those are all wrong questions, because you don't profit based off of that. You profit on what the market is going to do tomorrow. So just changing the questions that you are asking completely can change your perspective and make you profitable just by asking the right questions. That's why inside of Funded Trading Blueprint, one of the main goals is to have traders asking the right questions. That's all you have to do at first, because like that, you will see a huge difference in your trading. You ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers. The wrong question can give you the right answer, but that answer not being good because the question was wrong, so it will not help you. And that takes me to my last one, which kind of ties all of them together, is that, listen, if you want consistent profitability, one of the things I want you to focus on is on having a higher strike rate. The way you do that is also by having larger stop. And that is what I mean with asking the right questions. A lot of traders, they're trying to be as precise as possible, even though they call the direction of the market super well. But have you thought about that? Maybe if you call the direction of the market well, your problem is that you are executing on the wrong trades because you're trying to be too precise, right? I didn't scale up my account. I didn't get tens of thousands of dollars in profits just from being a sniper. I've gotten these profits from having belief in one single direction of the market. We call this the one-day play inside of Funded Trading Blueprint. Understanding market structure and waiting for my time to execute. And then execute with a large enough stop that if the stop is hit, that means that my trade and my direction overall was wrong. So that's what I want to tell you. It's like, ask the right questions, lock in your payouts, make sure that the money is yours, right? If it's not in your account, it's still from the prop firm. Don't risk high percentage because, listen, you don't want to be blowing funded accounts while you are not consistently taking profits from the markets. If you haven't made over $100,000 from the markets, you shouldn't be out here blowing funded accounts, right? This is what I would tell you. And then as said, when you get the payout, understand that is the game that prop firms also play. Focus on higher probability trades, and you'll see that if you add all of these things together, you can also scale up your account. You can reach the maximum allocation with FTMO. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. If you want a extremely profitable strategy, then join us at Funded Trading Blueprint, or check the video in right here. It's a 1.5 hour long video. If you want to check it out of a strategy, check out Trade Blocker if you are struggling with overtrading, and Funded next for the prop firm that I personally recommend. I'll see you all in the next one.